Hello and welcome back to another video, people. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're smashing the likes and subscribing if you are new. And yeah, the Callum Wilson video did quite well yesterday, but that's not the reason why I'm making another one. Is because ever since that video, it's kind of been developing already. So I thought it was pretty much set on that he was going to join because that's what the inside sources were saying, but I kind of misread it. There's still a great chance that he does sign. However, there are other clubs interested. We literally saw Burnley, probably Saudi are interested. Like I'm guessing, like lower tier Saudi clubs in this case. But um, there are other teams that are interested. I think Leicester have been linked as well. I think so. We're talking high end Championship, low end Premier League teams, and Saudi. These are the kind of teams that are linked with Callum Wilson right now. But what I really wanted to speak about as well is the fact that Callum Wilson has pretty much his link has kind of exposed West Ham's lack of transfer plan. And hear what I'm saying, because West Ham's lack of transfer plan has allowed a lot of reports to contradict itself, but not even to the fault of the journalist, but to the fault of the club more so. And the reason why I say that is because it came up before signing Callum Wilson that Graham Potter did not want to sign a forward, or the lack of forward, we just weren't looking at a forward. But I guess it's because we were looking at more internal solutions, betting on Somerville to come back on the left, having George Urphy in the team, I guess, when he comes back from injury as well. But Callum Marshall, I guess, has really impressed Potter. I think if Callum Marshall impresses in the summer series, then cool. We can talk about Callum Marshall. But for now, let's take a chill pill. But I have been impressed with him so far. He even scored in a behind closed doors friendly against Ipswich. Um, so that happened. And then the Callum Wilson links happened. So it's like, are we signing a forward or are we just taking an opportunity? So, and this is West Ham United, so we're taking an opportunity because the guy is on a free, and the guy's client is literally linked towards David Sullivan because we've been taking Will Salthouse links for a very long time now, very long time. Even Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I'm pretty sure is a Will Salthouse link, like that's one of his clients. But at least Wan-Bissaka is actually good, and we didn't sign him because of that. We signed him because we signed him. We didn't just sign him because it's because of his agent. Even though we literally have exposed this for years as West Ham fans that David Sullivan loves to do this. But let's take a look at it from a deeper aspect as well. Let's take a look from a deeper aspect as well. Because now they're trying to say that Graham Potter's happy with it. But we all know he doesn't want a forward. So Sullivan's trying to push it out desperately to make it out like it's not his decision. We're not this stupid. First of all, we're not this stupid. Second of all, every single person predicted this. Even when ex-West Ham employee said he's not joining, we predicted the links will come back up. Either him or Calvert-Lewin. It was obvious. It was very obvious. But here's the problem, guys. Here's the problem. It also came out that West Ham still don't want a forward. So what's the point of signing Callum Wilson? As we just said, it's a merry-go-round of nonsense because he's on a free. That's the problem. But also, apparently West Ham are interested in other forwards now, according to X. So West Ham aren't interested in forwards, but want to sign Callum Wilson. But if they sign other forwards, they won't sign Callum Wilson. So are West Ham interested in a forward or not? I don't even think it's the reports that's the problem in this instance, because I think West Ham are that much of a mess that reporters are spiraling out of control. They are spiraling out of control as West Ham don't have a plan. It's basically like it has been for the past few years. Half of it is via the director of football, and half of it is via the owner. Because apparently Tim Steiner was the problem, according to Sullivan. No, bitch, you are the problem. You are the problem. You always have been. You always will be. Whether you like Sullivan and whether you like Steiner or not, even the people that don't like Steiner, I'm pretty sure could agree that Sullivan is a bigger problem. I didn't even mind Rob Newman. Like I like people overseeing transfers and stuff like that as well. But I would have wanted them to get given more time to actually scout these players. I know Rob Newman got more freedom than Steiner did, but still, I would have liked to see both of them get a bit more than that because realistically, it wasn't the players necessarily; it was the manager that couldn't put those transfer windows together when we signed them players in the 22-23 season, but also when we signed the players of last season. Not necessarily just the players. Like when you look back at the window, it's not as good as it was. Don't get me wrong, but we needed to address a lot of positions. So even doing all of that wasn't going to be enough anyway, because we needed more positions to address. But I remember even saying in that window, we have a lot of positions to address, and we still have positions to address. But with what we've done and what we need to address for then, I'm happy with the window, and I maintain why I said that as well, because I still maintain there was still more positions to address. Like we needed a younger striker still. I think we all could agree with that because we all had strikers over 30, and that still hasn't changed. Um, Callum Marshall is technically part of the first team now, I guess, but we'll see. Um, we needed a midfielder that was like a deep line playmaker, really, or like a player with energy. We knew this already. Like we knew that Emerson and Wan-Bissaka, cool, that's cool. But who are your other left? But who are your backup fullbacks? It's Cresswell and Sufo at the time. That's my point. That's kind of my point. And for this one, we don't have a transfer plan. We don't have a transfer plan. That's why it's half director of football, half ownership. So West Ham want a striker. West Ham don't want a striker, but West Ham want to sign Callum Wilson, but they don't want a striker. But if they sign a striker instead of Callum Wilson, then they're not going to sign Callum Wilson. West Ham's transfer plan summed up in a nutshell, bro. I'm gonna go absolutely mad because I don't know what West Ham are playing at. I don't know what West Ham are playing. How can you not want a striker, want a striker at the same time? I think the club want a striker. I don't think Potter cares. It's clear Potter doesn't want someone. Each to their own, but I think we need someone. He clearly likes Fulcrook and Marshall, but we need a goal scorer. I've said this before, yeah. I said this when Moyes was still here, when he was just about to leave. We need the manager and the striker that's going to take us, that's going to have that relationship to take us to Europe, like Eddie Howe and Isak, like Emery and Watkins or whatever. I don't even rate Watkins like that, but Eddie Howe, Unai Emery knows how to get the best out of Watkins by setting up the system specifically for his traits. I think Potter can have that as well if given the freedom to pick any striker he wants. But if he said he don't want a striker as well, then uh, you've kind of made your own bed to lie in there. I'll be so real because I've said this before. I do like the guy. I do like the guy in terms of his football and stuff, and in terms of what he's trying to do. But if it doesn't work out, and you say that you weren't backed, you're not the problem. But you're gonna need to leave anyway because you knew what job you're getting into. Like I always say this about owners. I said this about Ange. I've said this about managers that have been at Man United, at Tottenham, whatever. Like when you're approaching this sort of ownership, like you should be able to do research beforehand and know that the owner has a reputation to deter you away from the job. Obviously, some do it for the money, some do it for comfortability, some do it to take the opportunity for the sake of their own individual career. But you have to think. You have to think before you're doing those things because you end up in situations like these all the time, all the time. And that's the why Potter, people like Ange, people like Amarim have ended up where they are because they haven't seen the red flags. It's like when you're talking to someone, you're trying to get into a relationship and you see the red flags, but you still want to beat and then carry it on, and not even just beat and delete. You just want to carry it on afterwards. Like, but you see the red flags. You've seen they've got a male best friend. Like you've seen that they've never been treated right by any other guy, so they're putting all their past traumas on you. These are the red flags. These are the red flags, and you're still going for that girl. This is what it's like with Potter and all these managers that go for bad ownerships to try and revive their career at their respective clubs, etc. But that's my problem with the whole thing as well. It's like I think Potter can coach well. I think Potter can get more out of what he has, but it's never going to be enough, unfortunately. And I think it's only going to come to terms with the fact that even if Potter gets that 10th, it probably won't be good enough. I'll be real. Even if he could get 10, if he could get 10 with this squad, don't get me wrong, yeah, it is somewhat impressive. Somewhat. It's not impressive, but it's like, okay, well done, sort of thing. You got mid-table, but no one's gonna be looking at that and being like, wow, you got mid-table? Wow, I can't believe it. Nobody's gonna be looking at that. So that's something you got to take into account as well. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you want new. Social medias are in the description if you want to follow me, and the email for the inquiries. And I'll see you guys later. Take care. Peace.